A criminal defendant has a Sixth Amendment right to effective assistance of counsel. Courts give defense attorneys wide latitude to make reasonable mistakes during trial. But what if an attorney introduces evidence that convinces the jury that an immutable characteristic, like the defendant's race, makes him more dangerous? Does this mistake constitute ineffective assistance? This was the question in Buck v. Davis. A Texas jury convicted Duane Buck of brutally and remorselessly murdering his ex-girlfriend and one of her friends. During the trial's penalty phase, the jury had to decide whether to sentence Buck to life in prison or to death. Under Texas law, Buck could only be sentenced to death if the jurors unanimously found that he was likely to commit acts of violence in the future. This question was the main focus of the penalty phase. Court-appointed psychologist Dr. Walter Quijano conducted a psychological evaluation in which he assessed Buck's propensity for future violence by weighing several statistical factors, including Buck's race. In his report, Quijano noted that because Buck was black, there was an increased probability that he'd commit a violent offense in the future. However, after considering all the other factors, Quijano concluded that Buck was unlikely to be violent in the future. Buck's attorney was aware of the report's contents, but nonetheless chose to call Quijano as a defense witness. During direct examination, Quijano testified that race was a factor known to predict future dangerousness, and that Hispanic and black people were overrepresented in the criminal justice system. Quijano's report was entered into evidence at the close of his testimony and was provided to the jury during deliberations. A unanimous jury concluded that Buck was likely to commit future violent acts and sentenced him to death. Buck petitioned a federal district court for relief, citing ineffective assistance of counsel. The court denied his petition, and the Fifth Circuit affirmed. The United States Supreme Court granted cert.